Hey guys, I haven't put up a video in a while, but I got a little bit of a project today. I'm going to show you how to install a brake controller on a new body style Silverado. As you can see, I traded the old red truck in for this, and I'm going to put a Promise brake controller in it, and I'll show you what that entails step by step. First step's to get it in the shop. Okay guys, here's what I went with. It's the Promise IQ. Actually, it's the Reese Echelon. It's the same controller. They're made by the same company. The first thing I like to do is mount the bracket, because then that'll let you know how to trim your wires and stuff. And on this particular brake controller, you're allowed horizontal and up to 70 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this thing somewhere in here, square it up, make it look nice, and then that way we know how to wire. Alright, so as you can see, we got the controller mounted. This particular one has adjustable slides. It's also got that little blue knob there, which controls how aggressive the brakes come on, as well as your standard power adjusting wheel and the manual slide override. Okay, so now we can get to the fun part, which is the wiring. Now, here's what they've done different on these new body style trucks. They actually built the brake harness controller, or controller harness, into the factory wiring harness. And they just tucked it up here. Okay, here's the harness I was telling you about. And it's already connected into the factory harness right here. And they give you this little tag. Be careful not to cut it. It tells you what the wires are. In this case, dark blue is the brake wire. Red and black's battery. The blue with the white stripe is your brake switch. The orange is not used. And the white is ground. Okay, so all I've done is I've mounted the brake controller. I've stretched my wires out to about how long I think they need to be, and I've started zip tying them as I go to keep them in a nice bundle. To connect it, normally I would flux and solder these, but since we're in the process of moving and my soldering kit is packed away somewhere, I'm going to use these. These are just barrel connectors. These just happen to be heat shrink. So after you crimp them, you can heat them up and shrink them. And I'll go ahead and put a couple of these on there. Make sure you use the right ones for the right size, because you do have 10 and 12 gauge wire on here, or 16 gauge wire on here. Okay, so I've got all the wiring done. The blue on the controller goes to the blue in the factory harness. The black on the controller is actually 12 volt positive, so that goes to the red on the vehicle harness. The blue from the vehicle goes to the red on the brake controller, and on these, white is your ground. I can tell you from experience that if you do hook the brake controller up backwards, and you can do damage. I've actually ruined 3 brake controllers doing that accidentally. So just remember that black is actually positive on these and not ground. Okay, so now all I gotta do is shrink the tubing and tuck the wires up under the dash, shrink wrap them, all that, zip tie them, and then we can move out under the hood. Make it all look neat up under here. Get some zip ties. Can also use that corrugated wire loom stuff. I may end up doing that after I get it installed. Right now I'm just kind of pressed for time. So after I get these all wire tied, we'll get them back up under the dash. And then, like I said, the orange wire is not used in this application. Okay. And we come in and trim all these off. And then when you tuck this up, always try and make it look neat. There's no reason to be all sloppy about it. You also want to tuck it up out of the way so it doesn't interfere with the pedals or any of the steering linkage or anything like that. Hope you guys can see this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but all I did was tuck them up on top of the defroster there. Okay, so we just finished up mounting the controller, wiring it. Now you have to come out here under the hood and your power panel. We're going to pull this off, maybe. And you're going to lift up on this lever, pull the clips out the way, lift it up. You notice there's two studs. These are put here for the connections to the brake controller and the 12 volt auxiliary. They already put a 30 amp fuse in for the brake controller. You have to supply a 40 amp for the 12 volt auxiliary. And I'll show you how they do this. If you look right down in there, you see that wire taped up? That is the power lead for the brake controller. They already pre-run them for you because they are part of the factory harness now. You don't have to go spend the $14 and buy them stupid plugs from E-Trailer or wherever you want to get them from. And then if you look over here, you see that little hint of red right there? That is the power lead for the 12 volt accessory, which usually powers a light, or I believe it works on your charges the battery for your breakaway system, your emergency breakaway system. So they have eye loops on them, and they're sized according to what stud they go on. The first one on the left there is always for the brake controller. That one is, the black one is for the 12 volt accessory. And then, like I said, you put a 40 amp fuse right there. And I'll show you what all this entails. Take a razor, and being extremely careful, I'm going to slit the electric tape that they use to tape this thing up with. I'm going to reach in here. And pull it out. And then, as you can see, it's got a tag on it that says aftermarket trailer power for the brake controller. And as I said before, you're going to route this so it looks halfway decent. And that's going to go in that stud right there. Now these studs, one of them, the larger one is a M8 by 1.25, I think, and the other one is an M6. They do not supply those nuts for you. You have to scavenge them yourself. I got these at AutoZone. They're nice. They have the washer built into them. And then I always try to angle that to the side so it doesn't interfere with the box lid. Okay. Now the other one is a little tougher to get. And as you guys can see, maybe, this bundle right here is for the 12 volt accessory for the trailer. Okay. Now why they do these on the sides they do them on is beyond me, because it would make more sense to do them the other way. But all you're going to do is put that right on that stud there like that, put a nut on it, and you're done. Got that one attached. I don't know how much battery life I have here. It's going dead on me fast. I'm going to angle this one this way, put the nut on it. Then I'm going to tighten these up, flip this back down, this handle, put the cover on. I'm going to slip a fuse in that slot right there. We should already have power to the brake controller. Okay, so here's the brake controller. We already have power to it. When you hook the trailer up, it'll have a C and 2 dots. And then again, this is your boost control, or your power. And then on the side is another one that adjusts the how aggressive they come on. But that's it. I hope you guys learned something. I know I went pretty fast. I'm trying to do this at work. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Either PM me or post something on this. And I'll see you later.